Making a backstory in D&D is incredibly hard. There is so much pressure to make something unique while also not being too overly complicated at the same time. So today I'm going to talk about how to make a fun backstory for your character. First, make your backstory active. An active backstory has an incredibly specific goal. For example, the bride in Kill Bill wants to kill Bill. The goal is simple, wanted to kill Bill, but it tells us so much about her character. She's driven by revenge. And this helps inform pretty much all of her character choices and gives us such great insight into who she is as a person. This can be applied to D&D characters too. Maybe your character has a friend go missing and you're trying to find out the clues to find them. Or maybe an old relative left you with a hoard of gold that only you can claim once you kill a dragon. Having a clear motivation can inform you on so many character choices. It also helps give you reasons as to why they join a party and why they do what they do. Maybe they join a party because they believe they're not strong enough. Or maybe one of the party members is linked to their quest, so joining the party will help them get closer to their goal. It's always good to give your character a reason to want to join a party, else you can have a really awkward time trying to justify your existence within a group. Second is the campaign world. There are a lot of great backstories with fantastic elements that don't work because they don't fit the current campaign style. So before the campaign starts, talk to your DM about your character and their backstory to see if it all adds up and works within that world. If it doesn't, this gives you a chance to compromise to get that character to work so that you don't feel disjointed from the campaign. But talking to your DM about your backstory shouldn't stop after the first session. I am constantly annoying a DM I play with about how I want my character's story to go, about the tone, and about letting him know if I'm enjoying the story direction. I read a lot on Reddit about players who are bored of campaigns or aren't happy with how their character's story is playing out, and communication is the only way to solve this, as everyone has personal wants for how a story should go, so making it clear that you both have the same idea makes everything so much easier. Next, make a character you enjoy playing. This is the most obvious but is so unbelievably common, where players throw a backstory together the day before a campaign starts and play and realise 5 sessions in they aren't interested in the character's goals or story. The best way to avoid this is to look at your favourite films or books and see what those stories have in common. For me personally, I love revenge stories, but I also love weird Lovecraftian horror. So I made Hangwit, who's a character I've made who hunts the beast. But there's also a hint that the beast isn't necessarily from this world. To a lot of people, this won't be their style, and that's completely fine. For making a character, it's up to you to figure out what you enjoy and make a character based around that, which is why my backstory has those elements of Lovecraftian horror. It is also important to mention that picking the right class can help you a lot for this, as one time I found that I enjoyed a character's story but not how they played, as they were a fighter, but story-wise it felt like they should be more like a barbarian, so I changed class, which made the character feel way more fun for me and it suited the character way better. This last piece of advice is for DMs as well. Make all the characters link and share a similar goal. This should be step 1 of planning every campaign. Without it, it's so difficult to justify the party members staying together. And I do believe there is work that a player should do that individually, but as a DM, to give the group one big goal to make sure they all have a specific goal in mind. Generally, I find employment as an easy way to start this. For example, I ran a campaign where all the party members were envoys of an emperor. This meant the emperor could give the party a combined goal while making sure the party has a great reason to stay together. Generally, this doesn't mean you have to make the players know each other. I generally like to make the characters have a loose idea of who each other are beforehand. I can't remember where I learned this from, else I would give credit, but once I heard about writing 5 bits of information about your character, putting it into a hat, then each player gets to pull from the hat and gets one random fact about your character. This is a fantastic way to start a campaign, as the characters have a little bit of gossip and understanding about one another, but still have massive pieces of mysteries and elements, and it gives them talking points to go off of. For example, if your character has a fear of bees, one player can mock them for that, or talk to them about that, and or try and understand why, which I wouldn't have found out otherwise if they didn't pull from the hat. So those were my tips on how to make a backstory. If you got any interesting or really fun backstories, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to read them. But yeah, that's all. So see ya and enjoy the rest of your day.